and real life. Hello everyone, welcome to another day. Today is a bit hectic and basically it's just a rundown on what I've worked on that I'll be having today. And thank God it's Friday. At least we're done with the week work and all that. So yesterday it turned out that I had someone reach out to me for a gig to work on the landing page for the person. Basically the person saw samples of basically landing page samples I worked on. I was kind of impressed with how I get to do it. So that was what I was on, which I completed in less than let's say 1 2 hours and was done. And then after that got back to working on Gigowi and I made some fixes to my and I also realized that there was an issue with the Solana Anchor program. The Solana is called a program in other products like in Solidity or when you're dealing with Ethereum, it's called the smart contract. So the program, this Anchor program or smart contracts in Solana was kind of faulty, so I had to make some fixes to it and redeploy it on DevNet. I actually submitted it to the TD or TX odds hacker team, or it's called World Cup hacker team. It was on Spartan End, yeah. So hopefully if I can get that or finish on the podium, that would be really nice. Anyways, the idea I worked on yesterday, got on a call with the client I wanted the landing page, had to brainstorm and all that, and basically get it on it. And by today morning, your landing page was live and it's time to work on your product. Actually, I'm not the person responsible for that. Okay, so yeah. In any case, moving on. The Gigowi, this is the code base. Let me scale down my. Yesterday, through the night, I was refining the back-end implementation plan. Implementation plan in the age of AI is everything because AI can easily write any function, any class or structure. Just what you'll be doing is reviewing the code base, and all that. Yeah. So AI easily do that. So I was trying to refine the implementation plan and make an update to it, which is what is going on here. And the AI is understanding it. I'll be refining it seriously because there are some things that I noticed. I mentioned it before the end of the call yesterday. One of them is this integrator module. Claude added it. I told Claude to take it out, but I don't know what went wrong. I'm still saying it here. So I had to remove it. I know what I'm trying to achieve, and AI shouldn't be getting too creative with it. So I had to brainstorm, remove it. And also I noticed that on the UI, there's some representation I haven't really clicked on, but I'll still go ahead and start implementing the back end and all that. But for now, the implementation plan for the back end, I had to review it, which I'm currently on. I think at this point, on verifying this, I think I'm a bit good to go. So what's left is for me to start the implementation phase as it stands. Okay. And what else again? I think that's it. So that's what I'll be working on today. And yeah, that's the life of a full stack dev. So I'll start working on the next JS backend. And also I had to brainstorm about how the agents will be configured. Because under the hood, ADK will still take and the tools I'll be creating. So those are some things I also had to brainstorm. I have it on my note here right now, some ideas. And it's kind of frustrating to brainstorm about things, to be honest. But it's kind of paralyzing. It feels like, trying to it paralyzes me sometimes. Like I can't do anything, thinking, okay, this is what I want this agent. Because Gigowi will be a multi-agent system and all that, and it will have to be how do I put it, flexible, dynamic. That's the word I'll use. It will have to be that, and that's just it. So the back end, and then I think I also need to work on something. There's a bug on the mobile app. I have to work on it and possibly redeploy it again if it hasn't been. if the judges have not checked it out, possibly redeploy it. If I want to verify that, I just need to check the smart contract. And what else again? So, and also Simba had plans on some things. I think this weekend might be long. I have to work on something on Simba, make some videos. So the team handling Simba. Yeah, the way Simba works is I'm building it. Along the way, I uploaded it to a team like that manages it. That is my co-founder. Why I work on other things because given that we don't have any support, I'm basically like the person that has to make the money and come back and basically fund the process, the AI and all that. Basically the fact that okay, it has currently now is a bit self-sustaining, even though the revenue is not that big, but it's a bit self-sustaining. So the team can afford to divide the profit equally and all that. While me, I serve as the CTO, the developer, the SO engineer, and also I oversee what they are doing. Because it's actually like I'm actually a major stakeholder in the product, why they get to manage it. And basically for products I've been working on, that's a strategy I've basically adopted. That's a strategy I've adopted as it stands. So, with all that being said, Gigowi is going good. Hopefully, we'll get to test some back ends and all that. Thanks to AI, I can move this fast. Back then, the first time I used Nest.js, it was kind of frustrating. There's a reason I don't take Angular gigs sometimes, except it's really worth it. Okay, I think it's Flutter and Kotlin that are two frameworks that are really opinionated. Let me put it there. Have structures that create a model, create a control, things like that. So Angular, the first time I tried it and tried React, I was like, that is much easier. And web, web is seen as a common technology, so why would I stress out creating a website? And most times, most web apps are not really that. Some are huge, some are really huge, but most web are, basically based on the fact that I work majorly on mobile apps. Most web apps I work on is usually dashboard, so we don't just use React. Angular is quite impressive, but Angular is much needed when the code base is there's a potential the code base getting extremely large. And I think that also with proper architecture you can handle it, but it's still opinionated to a certain degree. But Nest.js, once I got the hang of it, it was enjoyable, to be honest. It was enjoyable. That's the point I'm making. Nest.js and Flutter and Kotlin, three frameworks. It was Angular that was an opinionated framework that I found hard to just. It's not that it's really hard. I've built things with it when you're learning, but I feel it's an overkill. That's the way I felt about Angular. I felt it's an overkill, and this is a honest developer feeling. There are things that give you that feeling. I remember Android development when I started it with Java. It was an overkill because the way it was implemented. Thank God for Kotlin came along and made it an enjoyable experience. Else, building a mobile app, I feel if you charge a large amount, it's worth it. It was later because, for example, now RxG, Java, sometimes you'll be using some rigid techniques to achieve something and all that. That was native Android. And it was kind of frustrating from a developer experience side of things. It was really frustrating. So that aside, I think so today what we'll be looking at what makes a ship vibe. One thing I will be working on is the back end of Gigowi. Hopefully over the weekend, through the weekend, I can afford to have an MVP ready by Monday that I can push out to people that might want to test it. So my strategy or my go-to-market strategy, I already have it planned out. Yeah, I already have it planned out, and that's how it goes. As for Myla, I'll keep updating it. Hopefully, when the team tests my app, there will be minimal bugs on it. They might consider it. If they consider it and possibly gives the price, part of the money is going for the smart contract operations. In pushing the app. That's the goal. That's the goal basically. And what else again? Um, yeah, yesterday I spent some time doing some research. While thinking, I also do get to watch videos, one of which was on National Geography. Also watch a video on, no, what's his name again? The guy that went to Amazon, dark world of forex trading and some things like that. In addition, I also got to apply to iDice. iDice is based in Nigeria and is, like, call it an accelerator. It's a program that involve, if you're building a tech-enabled product in Nigeria, apply to it. Yeah, that's a tech-enabled product, like, or a business, like, put it that way, that can scale. You apply to it, and if you are accepted, I think after, at the end of the program, you'll be you get into a pitch competition that might get you, I think, 10 million naira is $10,000. Forgotten. I think it's 10 million naira. So apply to it also with Gigowi idea. Let's see how it goes. Anyways, those are some things. So today, basically, I will be working on the back end, either, and hopefully another client comes on board today. Nobody knows. So, and can look up titalabs.xyz. Let me type it in the chat. titalabs.xyz. So visit it if you want to book a session with us using Calendly and all that. Do the landing page, or you can send an email, a DM, and we'll get to attend to you. So let's go back to, yeah, this is it. On the news session for today, let's just discuss about some tech related news. How AI guardrails are impeding the work of offensive. I think it stems from the, I think cybersecurity became loud in AI when Mythos was announced. It could hack a lot of things and all that. But as it stands, we haven't. Mythos is not open. If you're not an American, you're not. It's basically, it was open to, I think, 40 big companies or something like that. Can't really recall again. And since then, this Tesla door issue. Let's have a look at the news. I remember watching a video of someone that got their battery went low and they locked out, and they couldn't charge it due to one issue of such. I've forgotten. Possibly they were not the registered owner of the car. You sure? It's their car, the new making process. Series of factors in which people have become stuck inside their car. Yeah. A safety defects investigation into the emergency mechanical door release. Doesn't comply with them. Saying an issue with the best addressed through rulemaking rather than a defect investigation. If the agency adopts new rules, all automakers will need to follow them. However, it's more important to know that commencing rulemaking doesn't mean new ones will be developed. Okay. Require emergency door egress system to address the risk of occupant entrapment in cars, and that's the reality. If your door handle depends on the car having electricity, or electric car system is prone to issues along the way, nobody knows. There might be fire incident or something, then you get stuck in your car. That would be horrible. That will be horrible. So basically, it should be possible that, okay, if you're stuck in your car, you should be able to open it. And let's say there's a case of emergency and your car is down, you can't get into your car. No, no. So that's one thing that needs to be addressed. So, how AI guardrails are impeding the work of offensive cybersecurity researchers. For most AI giants have devised special vetted programs and strict guardrails to limit the use of their models by malicious hackers. But this limit are now hindering the work of legitimate network defenders as well as that of offensive cybersecurity researchers. In June, the US government slapped export control on Anthropic, much hyped methods and Fable. The move was prompted, at least in part, by a report that claimed it was possible to bypass the model's guardrails designed to prevent users from using them to build and execute malicious cyber attack. Regardless of whether the incident was really motivated by fear of a jailbreak, the fact is Anthropic has repeatedly marketed this is what I was talking about as kings of dooms, as some kind of doomsday cyber mission, and that was quite shocking. They thought they were doing it for their good in order to get more profit and all that. But if that's the reality, it's still a system. Can a computing system get so and when Fable was released, it turns out that it was just an optimized Opus 4.8. They wrote it for coding along running that is 4.8 basically. And Fable 5, when it was tested on application, turns out that it falls like Kimi. So and if AI had gotten so good to like figure out cyber security, like be a cyber security threat, AI should be able to like see it. But based on this whole idea, I think the cybersecurity researchers need to have access. I just go to this point. They need to have access to test it out, and it makes the world much better. Discoveries will be made. It will fast track the pace at which the whole field is going, and more optimization. People get to know more things. If you don't test it, how do you know? What if the malicious guys get to figure it out first before you know the good guys figure it out? It might be too late. So the good guys identify who they are and then give them access. That might be a right approach to go about this. Anyways, let's see how it goes. I guess they are everything under control. Patreon. One product I really like the much. I really like much. But why are they laying off 20%? I think it might be due to AI. Oh, sorry. I say it's AI. Yeah, and that's why I'm building Gigowi. AI can't really replace humans. Humans live in the world. There's a limit to what can happen in the virtual world. Actually, a lot can happen here, but there's a limit. Humans. So possibly there'll be a world. I think there's a startup doing that already, and I envision Gigowi to also get into that space, whereby AI agents can also get humans on Gigowi to do things, and the AI agent Gigowi coordinates it. That's the future. Humans will still be needed a lot in the loop. Like humans are not going anywhere soon. So the only future that might take humans out is robots, and still robots will need to coordinate with humans. So basically, I think the layoff is due to AI making their workers deliver faster or deliver more. Sorry about the noise. Some kind of like a noisy space. Flattening is organizational chart. I like this idea. So Patreon is one company I like. Even though they are not bootstrap, I think they raised money. Patreon, Calendly, those are platforms that starts out so simple, flat out. I think Patreon started out with helping creators get money, something like that. Right? Because the first time I heard of Patreon was on YouTube. I'm not sure it was then that they started though, but it was on YouTube. That was 2018. Yeah. And I researched about it because building a product will always be my goal, to be honest. Research about what are they doing? They're helping creators make money. Wow, this is really quick idea. I talked about something similar back then at that back at even though it didn't go anywhere. Anyways, Patreon, Calendly, gosh. It's not like it's one amazing product. When investors rejected investing on it, I think I understand what they are saying. It's just a calendar that reminds people. Why would someone use a reminder or something like that? But that small automation between the fact that you can get to type your, reach out to the person and book a time with the person. The experience, I think people pay more for better experience. That's why UX is the key thing whenever you are building, say, any software application out there. If it's on terminal, desktop, mobile, web, the UX matters. The most optimized UX, even though it won't win, but if people discover it, they'll prefer it to their competitors. That's a fact. That's a fact. Um, so that's it about Patreon. Insurance Kogi. What does Kogi do? I think the insurance tech, data software, coffee shop start. Basically, they are raising a lot of money. Because I watched a video about them because during their last raise, and it was this year if I'm not mistaken. I watched a video about them where they were like investing in Kogi is investing on the founders. I was like, you can't. It's only an American-based founder that can benefit from this. Like you believe in the founder so much that you don't care about results. You're just investing in the founders, and you guys are investing on each other, trying to get returns. Doesn't it feel like a Ponzi scheme? Because I have not seen like a clear thing they do. I thought they started out with insurance. Before you know, they wanted to rebuild the whole insurance structure, something like that. And they were increasing. Kogi stands out. Summer 2024 raised 108 in January this year. 4 months later, it raised 160 million at 1.3. 106. Startup momentum. Revenue trajectory. We analyze revenue about it. Okay, that's nice. $40 million. Kogi offer AI powered insurance. I'm aware of that. It uses AI to give prospects fast quote and to speed payments on claims. I think that's a really nice idea. Quite alright. Insurance structure now has risk retention group. This is a way for people in the same industry or those self insure collectively. Subject to all these states regulations as traditional retail underwriting insurance carrier. What is the whole idea of risk retention group? I like this idea. Similar liabilities to pool their resources and self-insure collectively. That is possibly like, which example will I use? Having the same liabilities. Those, I think the biggest industry that uses insurance is the shipping industry based. So for example, the shipping industries now, they pool their resource with an organization and self-insure. and backed by state guarantee funds. So if people can be back bear the loss, if the claims are big enough, they won't bankrupt the hierarchy. So basically, this is an open structure of insurance. I think something like blockchain is optimized for. I think blockchain might be optimized for something like that. Okay. Everybody put their money and form an insurance structure, but how do you verify the legal providing? I think that's where the AI comes in, right? But now as a startup has expanded the types of insurance it offers, it also branch out the other way. Yeah, and this is the part I have an issue. Like, is this necessary? Having whether you say, oh, that's something like it's not necessary, and I think it was people looked at it and was now calling them a scam and stuff like that. This idea of data software wasn't necessary, and they were now doing more things. You're making money. If you're really making money from the insurance idea, you just need to make it much better because it's an actual problem. Imagine in Africa, there's literally no, like, insurance is still not mainstream yet. Okay, people are kind of, or in emerging markets in general. I'm not sure insurance is the main thing in other Asian countries also, in some Asian countries. So it's something that people need to know about, help them mitigate their risk and all that. And it can become a fair instrument. People can know that, okay, I'm hedging for the future. If I go broke, like, things like that. Then there might be insurance conditions attached to it. Anyways, let me read about this Investopedia, or let me use the AI. Risk retention group over liability insurance for businesses without needing state license. Mutual companies owned by their members. Issues commercial business and government liability risk. Must be business. And then we're having to obtain a state license in every state in which you operate. Contribute to state guarantee for which can go. Now this is what I'm talking about. Because if RG will cover assets, that's where the whole can easily go bankrupt. Imagine, like, you guys are in the same business or in the same scope and they having assets that are taking the same risk. What if half of the pool goes bankrupt? How are they going to divide it? You found out that it's not worth much and the insurance process was futile and it will discourage it. That's just an assumption that gets to my mind now. But I really don't have much idea. It's something that I really need to learn about. But if it's for liabilities, that's cool. Like what I mentioned here already. What I mentioned here. Medical, legal, those things are really like minor compared, especially the organizations are doing quite well. It's something they can easily cover. But if it's something that involves like asset getting as things and all that, and possibly nobody know what will happen, but it goes really bad, close to like 50% in the participating in the hierarchy, are they going to divide it? What if it covers everybody in the hierarchy? How are they going to go about it? So basically, you're just getting your money back, or something like that. So if to bankrupt, might bankrupt the. But if it takes a long time, maybe there's a good chance that it will go well. So anyways, I think with that, I'll read more about this when I'm chanced. And with that, we have come to the end of today's stream. Say it, streams will be exceeding 1 hour. Just me going about my money that year. Then we'll see later in the day where I'll drop a report of what I've done today. I wasn't able to come on stream yesterday due to some personal issues. And today I feel quite good. So that's all for now, and we are done with the stream assistance. Have a lovely day ahead, and see you later in the day. Hope you achieve all your goals. I wish there are actually viewers on the call, then we'll get to check ourselves. But anyways, it's all good. I think if we start getting viewers, we might engage in accountability session before we're able to achieve what did I achieve and all that. Okay, so have a lovely day and enjoy the. Hope you achieve your goal.